even more so than our first episode, our second episode is it's make or break. It's probably the most pressure.
Yeah, this is do or die.
It's yeah.
This
No,
might be
yeah.
a good opportunity right now to kind of say, to get to, just to make it publicly known that we have exceeded our goal of 98 views. We got 98 views, so we are well on our way to um,
what we're doing tonight, the movie that we're discussing tonight, is exactly what this episode is all about. Because in a way, the movie that we're discussing tonight is a sequel, and this episode is also a sequel. In the way that, like, Karate Kid 2, like, if without Karate Kid 2, the rest of the Karate Kid franchise wouldn't have happened. Like, so without this episode, our future is uncertain.
yeah. So it's really up to our one new subscriber
Mm-hmm.
and the guy that pulled his comment.
What this YouTube, I guess, is it a show? Is that what it is? It is about Seth and I discussing movies that we saw between the ages of about 11 and 15 that we saw in the theater one time and we have not seen again. We haven't discussed it ahead of time. In fact, I was telling somebody about this week. Like, we're pretty proud of the fact that there's a lack of research going.
We've gone out of our way
not
to discuss these things with each other.
Like, I mean, we've been left with our thoughts. Like, once we pick a flick, like, we're left with our thoughts. And this is it. This is like the arena. This is when you and I, like, we've been stewing with it, and it all comes together. And
yeah, I mean, I feel like we're like opening up this like door to our past that, like, maybe it should have been left sealed, but we opened it up, and who knows what's going to happen.
So do you want to let it roll? Do you want to?
No, I want you to do it this time.
All right. So, like I was saying, I feel this episode is the sequel to the original episode, in which Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is the sequel to
Forever Young.
No, it's not Forever Young, but like,
because we already established it was made without a face.
But like, so I feel like this movie came out after Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Right. So I feel like that they were trying to start a dark universe before, like, now they just tried to start the, Universal Monster Dark Universe.
So that was the first failed dark universe.
That was the first. We, like, no one talks about this.
No.
But it's definitely a thing that it happened, and I want to know. My question is this: did Mary Shelley live to see the movie in production?
I hope so.
I feel like it's not. It's first of all, this is a renowned author. We should not be laughing about her death. She definitely adapted Frankenstein, and, like, it's now a flick. I've been thinking about what would Mary Shelley do in a post 9/11 world.
Like, if she was reanimated.
Like, what would she have said?
I don't know.
We'll never know.
But I just really like the idea of reanimating Mary Shelley in a post 9/11 world.
I mean, that maybe that's what she was telling us all along with this. Like, it's gonna happen. Don't, like, it's like I feel like if I ever got trapped in the future, I feel like I would try. Like, there are certain people, like, I would leave instruction. I've been trying to, actually, through my life, leave instructions for the people that I would probably, like, who would probably miss my signs. Like, like, let this person know that I'm leaving. Like, and I guess it doesn't actually make sense, but I like, you know what I mean? Like, but I want some, usually.
So are you saying that Mary Shelley, like, left, like, a roadmap to her own reanimation? Like
in this movie, I mean, it could have happened. Like like a lot of these movies, there is the recollection that you and I have about what the movie was or is, and there's the personal story behind it. Yeah, the personal story.
Yeah.
So do you remember I have a vague I also have a vague recollection of that. So which one do you want to do first? Do you want to hit the personal story?
I think it's good to it's good. I think it's good to set up the events surrounding it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to sort of really set the stage is just to really just try to get the point across of just how we were mall rats, which I don't think that's a thing that people can be anymore. I don't think we were self-prescribed, like our pedigree was mall rat. The mall in question, if you're going to question this, which you shouldn't, take my word for it, is the Granite Run Mall, which is not a mall anymore. It's being like, repurposed as a gentrified sort of like hip community of like, aerobics. You got aerobics. You got like your competing aerobics store. So I'd say it's 95. It's probably like 95. We couldn't drive, and here's the story. So we were mall rats at the Granite Run Mall. There was like this, and we'd spend our weekends there. Our parents would drop us off, and we'd just like circle the promenade. And in the center was the escalators, and it's where like kids would sing hymns during Christmas. They had an elevator, and then they had your little like carts that like the mall gypsies could like push out. And there was the girl who had curly red hair, and she was.
Oh, did she have red hair? I remember her I remember her as a brunette. So already like our recollections are clashing, but I feel like
our recollections might be clashing, but I don't think emotionally we're going to clash. I think we're let's just make it a point to just.
Okay, what was her name?
She was an Amy to me. Definitely an Amy.
See, I remember like more of a Jessie, but I don't believe
that's
not
a
like
good
a Jessie.
Name for her.
What?
That's a good name for her.
Yeah, I think it started with a J. So she was. So it was a Amy or so.
Let's go.
It's a T-shirt stand.
T-shirt stand.
Amy or Jessie?
No, let's do my red hair. Your
Jessie. Red hair. And
I think
Jessie.
this is a good way to compromise the whole event.
That's the best way to do it.
And it was the T-shirt stand, and whatever happened, we took a fancy to her, or at least I did. And
so I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't mention or shout out like our other friend Jarrett, who was also with us at the time.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So we were in high school. I don't know. Was that high school? That's high school. So like ninth grade. I think we were in ninth grade.
It was 8th grade or ninth grade. It was
we were driving.
Or we were freshmen.
And we
were only freshmen.
We can't.
For the life of me, I can't remember.
We solicited Jessie, red hair, for well, the movie was rated R, I think.
No, it was because we couldn't get into it.
Yeah, we couldn't get into it, but we wanted to see it because we were like, we were tough enough. I would say that about myself constantly. So I'm guessing that we sort of approached Jessie, like we became friends because like I think you bought your Nine Inch Nails shirt. She's like, 9 Inch Nails is cool. They're cool. Like, I think they're cool.
I think Jarrett was the one who like found this. Was the founder of this cool person at this place, and we were. I remember it was like a whole night. We were gonna go sleep over somebody's house, like after the movie. So we were gonna hang out at the mall, see the movie, and then sleep over somebody's house. Although we didn't have a plan on how to get into the movie, but somehow we convinced our parents that we were. I think we probably told our parents we were seeing something else. Probably like Forever Young.
Yes. Again.
That's probably.
But that was 3 years ago. Forever Young again.
It's
the re-release. Jabba the Hutt just kind of like
Right. Like
lines across the screen.
Yeah. Like so that was our plan, and I remember there was a lot of trepidation on who was going to ask her to buy us, because Jessie was going to buy us those movie tickets to get us in. She wasn't going to go with us because she had like much. I don't. How old was she? Was she like in high school too, or was she like early 20s? Like what? How old was she? Like she looked probably like 25 to me, but I'm sure she was probably like 17.
Yeah, exactly.
To make this personal story short, she bought us the tickets. She did not go with us. It was not a thing like, hey, I'm going to hang out with you, cool. You kids are cool. I'm going to like, no, not at all. She was like, here you go, have a good time.
Yeah, no, she didn't. I thought that she was going to sit between us.
No,
like
I remember thanking her for it, and I remember like, but very shortly after that, she left her job at the t-shirt stand and like went on to become a veterinarian. That's just hearsay.
Let's talk about the movie.
Well, I actually want to say, without any kind of sarcasm or any kind of just with sincerity, that you and I, in our lifetime, and I think it's fair to say that you and I have done a lot of Frankenstein research.
Yeah.
And I noticed, in when we decided to come up with this, because what we do is we decide to come up with it and then we kind of ruminate. And I noticed that throughout the years, through all my Frankenstein research, it seems like the research has been veering me away from this film. It's not something that like,
Right. Yeah.
It's not one of those. This is not one of the totems of the Frankenstein.
It's not part of the obvious progression of like our aesthetical.
No,
I don't know if that's a word. Our tastes in Frankenstein.
So
film.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. She wrote the screenplay. Because if not, why would she be in the title?
Right before her assassination.
But so directed by
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, so he was the lead. He played Frankenstein.
Yes,
Dr. Frankenstein.
Here's the thing about this film is it adheres very closely to the book, and I know the book pretty well. I've read the book a couple times, so
it's a great book. I think Mary Shelley couldn't have picked a better book to adapt. Mary Shelley's Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein. Kenneth Branagh played Frankenstein, which I kind of feel like is an ego trip, but whatever.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro played other Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yes.
The monster Frankenstein. And then we have a cast of a lot of other characters.
A cast of thousands.
A cast of thousands, which include...
I believe Helena Bonham Carter was the bride.
That's what I was thinking. It was her?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you sure?
Not 100%, but since you're thinking that, like I'm pretty sure.
No, I was thinking it too. I was also thinking, like, why don't people call her like Helena Bonham Carter?
Because it's not her name.
Who else is in this movie?
That's it. I mean, so like I said, there's a cast of 1,000.
There's a cast of, so like there has to be like, so there's an Igor assistant played by.
There must have been.
Played by.
This is where we get to the part where we are confident enough to make.
I want to say cost. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna mispronounce his name.
We're gonna say Kevin Costner.
No, Costas Mandalar.
Oh, I don't know.
Mandalos. Like, I feel like I'm mispronouncing his name.
Picket fences.
He was a
Tom Skerrit.
Yeah, screw him. It was Tom Skerrit. Tom Skerrit was the assistant. So we got Kenneth Branagh, Robert De Niro. We haven't even talked like Robert De Niro as Other Frankenstein, which is what I feel like he should be called, like Other Frankenstein. Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
As the bride, but she was also
Frankenstein's like wife or love interest or fiance or something.
Right.
I want to call them normal Frankenstein and monster Frankenstein.
We all know what happens in Frankenstein. He gets made and
he wreaks havoc. He wreaks havoc.
I mean, like chaos ensues. This honestly, I mean, I'm gonna be honest about this, and I'm gonna be a little probably controversial. Sheol. Um, I'm a Bolton business Frankenstein. Like I like my Frankenstein, looking like he's like green and like the flat top and like he's like right of the monsters.
Yeah,
Or
you know that I
Gangrel
agree with
movies.
you.
Like
Yeah,
it's Bolton business.
Bolton business.
I don't like if he just looks like every other reanimated dead person, then he's just a zombie.
Who's who was the Jack, like the Jack Pierce look?
Yeah, like from the 1930s
Yeah,
and 40s.
right. Yeah.
So I guess in conclusion, so it was a good time. It was a thrilling time for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got to talk to a cool chick. She got us into the flick.
Yep.
And we have the memories of that, but not necessarily of the movie.
And now we're doing this.
And now we're doing this.
And this is gonna you and me up because of this.
This should be a new goal of ours, that we should go someplace when we can go someplace, because right now we can't go any place. But when we can go someplace and movie theaters are open again, we should try. So this should be goals. We should try to solicit a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old to go buy us movie tickets to a rated R movie.
Yes.